All right, welcome back. So this is part 2 of Nuke the World. So I trust that all of you now have created this basic effect. I'm going to drop my resolution down to 1/3, just reviewing and quicker working. We've created this mushroom cloud with the glow. Good job. We're doing pretty okay. So now we've got to do some things here. So, all right, I am going to just rearrange my working space to get all ready here. And there we go. Okay, so what we want to do is I want to start manipulating some camera movement, some post-production camera movement, also known as pan and scan. So in order to do that, highlight all of your layers. You can either select one layer and then hold down the command or control button and press A. So that'll select all the layers. Now what you want to do is you want to right click and go to pre-compose. That's right here. Right click, pre-compose, and rename it Nuke Pre-comp. Excellent. I just pressed enter. So now we have one layer. Think of pre-comping as, or pre-composing as merging, kind of. It's a way of putting all of those layers into one manageable layer. So if I make an effect happen on this one layer, it affects them all as a whole. So pre-composing is really useful. So what I want you to do now is with the layer selected, press your S key and the scale property will emerge. That's S for scale. And then click on one of the values. We have an X and a Y value and they're locked together with this. This is the icon that is locking it. So if I put in one value, it will alter the other one. So I'm going to change it from 100% to 120%. All right. So now we have basically zoomed in to this clip. Now that's why 4K footage is really useful for this kind of stuff. You can do a lot of pan and scan, or getting two shots in one, so to speak. In this case, what I'm trying to do is a simple pan and scan. Now I wouldn't normally advise going above 115% on HD footage, but if you shot in 4K, it can easily manage this. I'm only doing this to simulate what we can do in post. Okay, so having said that, I want you to go to frame 0. Hit the home key on your keyboard. It's right beside the page up and page down keys. So I hit the home key. All right, now what we want to do is we want to bring up the position properties. So highlight the layer and press P. All right, so now that we've got the P, we have our position, we have the X value, so this can move on the X space or the Y space. So take a look here, X space, Y, or X space, and this is Y space. So what I want to do is I want to have a nice pan and scan, but what is the best way to do this? So just remember, my character gets up here and then he moves that way. So if I'm thinking in terms of editing, it's kind of nice if I can give it this left to right motion that's kind of going with our character as he goes that way. It just gives a certain kind of kinetic dynamic energy that might aid in the edit. So what I do, step 1, is I move this clip all the way to the right. All right, that's at the head of our clip, the beginning of our clip. So now I know that this is where I want our clip to start. So I will press the stopwatch and it makes a blue keyframe. All right, very good. I hit the end button on my keyboard, and at the end of it, I take this position keyframe data, or this X position, and I move it all the way to the right. So let's just play that back quickly. We're starting to pan, you can see it, right? That's with my processor's a little funky, got a lot going on. I'll just scrub through it. I'm working off my external hard drive, so it's a little bit slow. But it's working. Okay, cool. Yeah, that works out pretty nice. Okay, so that is a basic pan and scan movement in post. And this technique is done often. Now, we did a simple slow pan and scan, but Think about it if you're doing a music video. Now you can scale in and out. You can punch into someone's face. You can punch out. You can move in. You can create better transitions between cuts. It's just really useful once you know how to manipulate this footage in post. All right, so now that we've got that, that's like building block A. So now let's up it a level. Let's take it, but before you do that, do a file save. It won't hurt you. Okay, so now that you've got the first basic camera movement, I'm gonna take it up a notch. So I'll toggle this all up. Now, what I want you to do is go to the 8-second mark. All right, so you've learned that we can do a pan and scan and move and post. What you didn't know is that we can also do some camera shake. This will employ the wiggle expression. I might have taught it in class, I might not have, but it's a very common and useful expression to learn for After Effects. What we are going to do is introduce a wiggle expression for the properties panel. Anyway, I'm talking too much. What I want you to do, 8-second mark, highlight the layer, hold down Command or Control and press D. That's not right. Hold down Command and Shift and press D. Oh, it actually affected my whoopsie daisy. It actually affected my Camtasia. So, get out of there, Camtasia. Stop. Funky. All right. Hold down Command and Shift and press D. All right, interesting problem here is that whenever I try to duplicate and split the layer, it's actually affecting my Camtasia. So yeah, no, oddly enough. So what we'll do is this is a workaround. You can easily do this at home or at school. Control Shift D or Command Shift and then hit D. It will duplicate as well as split your layer together. So it's just not working. I'm just gonna have to press Control D. So I will duplicate this layer. Then what I want is I'm trying to take the head of the top clip and put it there, and then the tail of the bottom clip and put it there. I am splitting up and dividing the two pre-comps. So you're going to see why in a little bit. Excuse me. So for the top layer, that's the top layer, press the P key for position. All right. So now that we've got the position stopwatch, this is how we're going to bring up an expression. This is kind of like coding or scripting for After Effects. Don't worry, we're not going to get too crazy on coding, but hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and click on the stopwatch. 3, 2, 1, click. All right, now we're into expression mode. What you need to type in is wiggle, no space, hold down Shift and press the 9 key for the beginning parentheses, 5, 5, end parentheses, and I can't hit Enter. Enter will take me into another line of the code, which is not what I want. Instead, I just need to click on this gray ether zone here. There, now it's been input. So what we've done is now we have built a wiggle property for the position of this top layer. So let's just take a look at what that does. Look at that camera shake now, right? So one more time. All right. So the technique is this. If I put that expression layer on just the one layer, it would have affected right at the very beginning. I didn't want it to affect it right at the very beginning. What I want is this is going to be starting to pan, and I still want that panning movement, but then when it gets to 8 seconds, we still see the same clip. It's been divided, but now it starts to camera shake. So if we introduce in the edit a rumbling sound, it's like the world is getting more shakier, right? This is how we can introduce camera shake. Another way of thinking about this is that if you have shots that are static, maybe you've locked it on a tripod and you know what, you're in post and you're thinking, you know what, this just doesn't have enough movement for it. I kind of wish I had this as a little bit of like handheld. Well, this is how you can do it. This is how you can simulate that handheld look. And the values are here. So it will shake 5 pixels every 5 frames or something like that. I forget. One is the frequency and one is the amplitude. I'm not a pro at the actual expression itself. I just know what it does. So you can just Google what the values are or play with them yourselves. Like if we put in wiggle 10 pixels per 5 frames, or I don't know. It does something like that. So but it's really useful, really useful. So yeah, anyway, now that we've done the camera shake, we're in pretty good, we're laughing right now. But now let's get to the ending where we want to actually nuke the world. So let us first highlight all the layers or press Command A or Control A on a PC. Then right click and choose Pre-Compose. We'll call this Nuke Everything. And press OK. Let us go to the 14-second mark. All right. So the 14-second mark. Now what we want to do is add the effect, go to Blur and Sharpen, and let's look for Fast Box Blur. All right. Excellent. Now under that, go to Effect, Stylize, Glow. Now what we want to do is we would like to turn on the stopwatch for the fast blurriness at 14 seconds. So fast box blur, there's the blur radius. Okay. Now go to the glow threshold and turn on the stopwatch. But this isn't what I want. I want the threshold to be at 100. I want it to be looking normal right now at the 14-second mark. Okay, so basically what I'm doing, if you check out this glow threshold, it basically will, that's right, look like a big nuclear bomb that's gone off. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so now that we've got the threshold set to 100 and we've got the fast box blur at 0, what I would like you to do is go down 40 frames. So hold down the Shift button and click the page down key on your keyboard 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that is a technique to jump 10 frames at a time. It's the Shift and page down buttons. Okay, so now that we're there, let us change the, we want to do this gradually. I want it to start blurring out first before everything goes white. So, oh, and take a look. You see those edges? They're still a little bit dark. Click on this repeat edge pixels. There, the edge pixels now won't get so blurry. So I would like this to get a little bit blurry there. Now go down another 20 frames. Lower the glow threshold to 0. See, now we've blown up everything, and now let's really blur it out. So let's see how that goes. Let's see how that plays. Booyah! All right, congratulations. So you've just nuked the world. So, a file save, do a file save. We're always making sure that we do our file saves. I'm not going to go through all of that. Okay, so good job. But now, let's do some new stuff. I like to call this section, it's all a recording. So first things first, what I would like to do is go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer. Now with the adjustment layer highlighted, I would like you to go to Effect, Transition, Venetian Blinds. You know, I look at it now and Venetian Blinds seems such like a lame title for a very commonly used and very useful effect, Venetian Blinds. So let's change the direction first to 90 degrees. Wait, I guess I gotta show you guys what it does. Put the transition completion to 6%. So now you see it, we get all these lines that look like Venetian blinds, right? you would think this thing kind of sucks, but actually it's pretty useful. Change the direction to 90 degrees, and look at that. Now we've got our basically our scan lines. So let's change the width from 20 to 10. See, now you got like, it's got that kind of, I don't know, recording feel, right? All right. Let's see. So now let's go to Effect, Time, Posterize Time. And what Posterize Time does is that it's affecting the frame rate. So you can change anything. Basically, what we're going to do is instead of 24 frames per second, let's put it to 8. Now, this is going to seem, it gives us more of that jumpy feeling. Oh, I got another preview for that. I'm going to turn off the audio. I don't need the audio for this. Okay. I'm just going to let the RAM preview build up. But posterized time is what it's doing is it's taking the time from 24 frames per second and making it 8 frames a second. So basically it's over cranking in what we call film world, over cranking or jumping everything. So our frames look a lot more jumpy or like a real-time security footage. See that? Yeah, all right. So now we've got that glitchy security camera feeling. So let's do it up a notch. Let's introduce some color correction. So let's go to Effect, Color Correction, Hue and Saturation. Hue and Saturation. Now we can drag the saturation all the way down to 0 and make it one of those old time cameras. I'm just gonna give it a minus 60 roughly. Still want a dash of color. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. Negative 60. All right, so we've desaturated the image. Now it looks all kind of security camera stuff. So now we've got to sell this thing. So let's go to Layer, New, Solid, and let's make a black solid. Whoops, what am I doing? Solid settings, I'll put that to black. Having too much fun. Okay, so what we want to do is let's get this mask, and in the upper right hand corner, there. Okay, excellent. So I made a black mask and I want to reposition that. So I'll choose my selection tool and re-highlight the mask one so I have all the dots selected, and I'll put these. I kind of want to be able to see that stuff, so I'll put that one there. All right, cool. So there's one mask. What else should I do? I will duplicate it, hold Command D. So I've got another black solid there. I press M for the mask. I press P for the position actually. I want it to be on the exact same line. So that's why I brought up the position. So now on the X property, I just move it over. So I'll hold down Shift so I can move it all at once. And there's one. So here we'll put something like camera 2 roof, and maybe we'll put the date here. Yeah, okay, let's try that. All right. So we've made two black masks. So what we'll do now is choose our type tool, and I don't think Times New Roman. Let's make it in wingdings. No. Let's go to, we need something simple and plain. Arial. Arial narrow. Arial bold. Cam. Camera to roof. And it's just positioned a little bit weird, so what I do, I get my selection tool and click on this, put it right there. Camera to roof. Okay, and the other one, I'll put in a date. let's see. I am making this right now. It is February 6, 2019. Get my selection tool, and I'll put it there. Maybe a little bit bigger, hey? Just increase the scale. That box feels a little bit big. So which one is this? It's this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I don't know. It's a judgment call. I think I'll make these both a little bit bigger. Camera to roof. Okay, good. And yeah, I think this just needs to be a bit bigger. The perfectionist in me coming out. If you highlight the layer, you can just use your arrow keys to nudge it if you've got shaky coffee hands like me. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so what else should we do? Let us. No, I'm pretty okay with that. That looks like a nice. Let's play it back. Good. Good. Yeah. Booyah. All right. All right. I am going to pause or end recording for this one. I think I'm going to make a third effect, but this is the basic Nuke class. This covers a lot of different properties about integrating computer graphics, which was that Nuke cloud, masking, as well as pre-composing. We've gone over through a simple expression, duplicating the layers, integrating effects using blur, as well as color correction. Yeah, so we've actually covered quite a lot of different techniques within this simple tutorial. I'm going to do one last one, I believe, after this, but I'm happy with this already. So if you want, if I've assigned this, in order to render it, composition, add to render queue, click on the blue lossless word, choose your format. Typically I ask for QuickTime, and depending what school you're at, I usually like to go for, if you have Macs, I prefer ProRes HQ, or if you're stuck on a PC, I like DNX HD or animation. If it's for an assignment that you have to give over the web, H.264, but the quality sucks on that. So anyway, check your rubric and what I'm grading you at. Press OK, and then click on this. This is the Nuke clip, and then you put your name. So Nuke clip, and I'll usually assign how I want this submitted. So it's a QuickTime. What is it? This one was DNX HD. Anyway, and pick where you want to put, and probably the date, and then just hit render. So I hope this has helped you out, and with that, I will end recording.